What's something that seems harmless now, but in 20 years, people will look back and say, how did we ever think that was okay? Under the name of personalization, mass data collecting will make future generations shudder. I think we'll regret renting, subscribing to, or not outright owning stuff. People are leery of it now, and as a model, it sucks more and more, but I think the own the thing option will disappear in a lot of ways, and we'll all have regrets. Also, going 100% cashless, there are lots of ways this will suck long term. Excessive screen time for young children will likely be viewed as a major concern in 20 years. While it seems harmless or even beneficial now, growing evidence suggests it can impact cognitive development, attention spans, and social skills. Future generations may look back and wonder how we allowed so much unrestricted digital exposure during critical developmental years. I'm very confident that our response to the next pandemic will be much worse than our COVID response, which already had serious problems. At least 25% of the country will not listen to any public health advice ever again. Republicans will demonize any public health response. 1 million Americans died unnecessarily and they couldn't care less. It's terrifying to think about. All the injections people are getting in their faces. People are starting to look like cartoon characters, and I think we will look back at it and cringe. Hot dog lips aren't cute on anyone. I understand being self-conscious, but we've engaged in some major overkill. AI voices and images being so realistic and out of control without any kind of regulation. No more original artists being able to make a living. Scams so believable and impossible to detect, don't even think of contesting them. Land impossibility of knowing truth from lies unless being first eyewitnesses, which will lead to mass disinformation so much larger than we know it regarding anything news, bullying, teaching. Desktop 3D printing. Somehow it is incredibly gauche to me that in the midst of a plastic waste apocalypse, we suddenly have a fad for desktop 3D printers, and anyone and their mom is now able to produce ridiculous volumes of more plastic trash. And of course, resin printing can't be recycled like that. The most egregious examples being those ASMR videos where people are tearing off massive amounts of support structure material from their prints. I was at an eclipse viewing event. Most of the kids either were sitting at picnic tables playing video games on phone, and toddlers and strollers had tablets in front of them. This was even before the eclipse itself started. They grow up lacking observational skills because they are not looking around them. Observing is how you learn about the world around you. I hired the highshallers to rake leaves and also do some watering that required the hose. They weren't goofing off, but they had their hand out to get paid when the hose was still spread out on the lawn for 20 instead of rolled back up on the hose reel like they found it, and both rakes were laying out as well, not placed back in the barn on their hooks where they found them. I realized then nobody taught them how to work. So I had to teach them how a job is finished. I felt bad nobody ever taught them how to work, nobody showed them things. I've often had youngsters doing chores for me, and we chat on my porch a bit when I make them a cold drink and a bite to eat. Imagine my surprise when I ask if they discuss goals at the table with parents ... or how their day went, i.e. problem-solving interventions if something went poorly during their day. No to both questions. I naively thought everyone did that stuff with their kids at end of day or at least on regular basis. Nope, we eat in front of the TV. Don't have kids if you're not going to parent them. Letting the average person operate an 1,800 kilograms for 1,000 pounds steel piece of machinery at speeds of 50 kilometers per hour around people with minimal training and no requirement for retraining. Leading cause of death globally in 5 to 29-year-olds is road traffic accidents. This figure doesn't even include the number of life-altering disabilities from those who survive. This doesn't include the environmental effect on air pollution from non-EVs, segmenting wildlife habitat, and the toxic supply chain. This is so masochistic, yet so widely condoned. The fact that this isn't already posted is disheartening.